Hello, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Got my voice going. Yeah. Hello everyone, and welcome to this Meet the Artist talk with Jayjay Zifanwe of the University of Western Australia. Tara is having computer problems, so I am taking over for the moment, and I'm sure she can type in text to me if necessary because she's available on via her iPad in my Skype call. So if I ask the wrong questions or forget to ask key questions, she can type frantically to tell me what to do. Like having a voice in your earbug. So I'd like to start off by welcoming JJ here this evening. Or this afternoon, or indeed for JJ this morning, I guess.
Yeah, 7:23 a.m. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Good. So, JJ, I've said this is one of the Meet the Artist strand of talks, but without wishing to sound rude, you're not actually an artist, are you?
No, if I try to raise a prim and I don't fall over, that's a good day.
I know the feeling. Although my speciality is deleting prims. I think that artworks based on deleting bits of them unexpectedly could be my speciality.
Well, I'm good at that too.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm a bit jittery. If I'd known I was doing this, I'd have gone to Voice Echo Island to clean up first. JJ, let me ask you. So you're not an artist. You are actually responsible for bringing responsible for bringing so much art to the grid and encouraging the creation of so much art on the grid, and that has been your role at the University of Western Australia. Can you tell me a little about how you came to do that? How that started for you?
Yeah, it all started almost by accident, and I had no real art background and things like that. 2 days before we actually launched the University of Western Australia SIM, the chairman of visual arts for the Australia Council um, heard that I was doing this project and said, "Hey, can you do anything for arts with your 3D virtual stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I can run a year-long art competition," not knowing anything about Second Life art. And all of you, sitting here know that running a year-long art competition in Second Life is nuts. But I didn't listen to the people who were telling me it's nuts, and I ran it, and in through a lot of luck and serendipity and help from people such as Quadrupub Lane, Freewheeling, it turned out to be a success, and that's how I came into the art scene.
So, how many Sims does the University of Western Australia currently have?
Um, at the moment, at the moment we have 5 Sims.
And are all of those given over to art, or do you do other things as well?
One of the 5 Sims is a partnership with the University of Illinois, and that's a joint sim where they run teaching activities on it. Um, some of the other sims, the purpose is to show real life spaces in the university. So Winthrop Hall and Clock Tower is the main building we have at the university. It's where I graduated, in fact, in 1996. We have numerous buildings which are important. We have the flora and fauna of the university there. We have the ducks, the peacocks, the rainbow lorikeets, the parrots, the kookaburras that are there in real life at the university. We have these replicated in Second Life along with the sounds, so that alumni, people who are interested, anyone who's not able to come to the campus can come have a wander around. We also have the School of Anatomy and Human Biology there, and we run activities to do with anatomy, human biology. And we have our art galleries in the sky. So 1,000 meters up in the air, we have the UWA 3D virtual art galleries.
That's fantastic. So, how many artists did you start with?
The very, very first art challenge, the way it started in 2009 was we had a series of month-long competitions leading up to a grand finale at the end of the year, or at the end of that cycle. We've changed the format after the first two cycles to be a large 3 or 4 month long competition as opposed to individual monthly competitions. Um, so the very first one, we had about 12 or 13 artists entering 25 or 26 artworks. That very first competition did include, people who are, luminaries in the art world. I would say like Oberon Onmura was one of the first artists who submitted, as was Alizarin Goldflake, and Soror Nishi.
And are all of those people still exhibiting today and entering competitions today?
Well, Oberon, since he works with me on the LEA, the Linden Endowment for the Arts, he kind of feels that it might seem inappropriate for him to enter. So
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't entered the last one. Alizarin Goldflake does not seem to be on Second Life, as much anymore.
Mm.
Soror Nishi does enter when I invite her, and she did enter the most recent one, and she often wins. She often, gets a number of prizes every time she enters.
Well, she is very good. I love her work. So, what you've also, as well as sponsoring art contests, you've moved into sponsoring machinima.
Yes, that's right. I mean, like, that was one of the most important steps we've taken. And it happened again by accident. So almost everything that's happened with Second Life at UWA happened through, serendipity, accident, meeting the right people at the right time. And that one happened because White Libed literally forced me to run a machinima competition, um, and said, I need to show what UWA is doing and run a competition with the theme Teaching Research, Architecture, and Art at UWA. And she gave me $50 and said, do it. And I had no idea at the time that running a machinima competition with $50 was almost an insult in terms of a prize pool. Because I had no idea, the amount of work it took to create machinima, and
Mm.
also, as all of you know, that topic show off the teaching art, architecture, and research at UWA is such an exciting topic to a global budding machinimatographer.
Mm. Mm.
So obviously, I had a lot of problems trying to run it, but and kind of halfway through, I was feeling, or should I stop and give up? But I went on. I'd spent a lot of time with the machinima makers for that one to explain to them why it was important the theme had to be that,
Right.
and that it was kind of the sword we needed to break through this real life and second life barrier.
Mm.
And we had about 17 machinima in for that challenge. We had some really brilliant ones, uh, and the we managed to get the vice chancellor of the University of Western Australia to be one of the judges. And
Fantastic.
so he had never seen anything at all with Second Life prior
Mm.
to becoming a judge.
Mm.
And when he saw all the entries, I told him, look, UWA has contributed nothing to this. We've had a $50 donation from someone else, and you've seen the quality of the submissions.
Mm.
And the next day, we had $2,000 to offer as a prize,
Oh.
retrospectively, to all these people who had
Mm.
entered thinking there was only a $50 prize.
That's
The next day I
brilliant.
had 2,000.
Mm.
So, like, now when we run film challenges, we have, we normally would run with a prize pool of about $2 or $3,000.
Right.
And the next Machinima 7, UWA's next Machinima challenge, will start in a month or so, and the theme will be transcending boundaries.
Hmm. That would be fun. Maybe I'll enter this time, as I've started making machinima.
Oh, fantastic.
Now which means, of course, I wouldn't be able to be a judge for it. I have judged in the past. You have a number of judges for each competition, don't you? You draw from real life and from Second Life, I think.
Yeah, I think it's important to get to get people from RL and SL to be on the judging pool. I mean, like in a sense, we normally go nuts, quote unquote, with the judging. And we normally have a judging pool of about 25 people. Um, and we have a number of people in RL and UWA who have become experienced now in judging, things within Second Life. But the kind of criteria is all of them need to be involved in the art world in RL, because in order for Second Life to reach beyond the boundaries of Second Life,
Mm.
the art in Second Life has to be recognized as art by people who are not Second Life people, and that's why I've always invited, curators of art galleries and things like that to be on the panel,
Right.
and in a sense I'm introducing them to art in Second Life, and
Mm.
that's allowed art in Second Life to be featured in real life art publications in Western Australia, like the Artist Chronicle, for instance. And the editor of the Artist Chronicle now, every time we run an art challenge, she has made a point to cover it, in the Artist Chronicle in Western Australia.
Mm. Yes, as Seco Rage says, which is huge. And Miso too says, you've made all competitions accessible to everybody to enter. This is so important. People feel good to enter your events. And
Yes.
I think this is one of the things about it. You have a lot of the big name artists in Second Life entering these competitions, but you also have people who may be giving it their first shot, their first shot at entering competition. And some of them do extraordinarily well in the competitions, don't they?
Yeah, yes, they do. Actually, nothing makes me happier than, so like we have an entry receiver at the UW Art Gallery.
Mm.
So the way people enter the artworks is that they can go there. They don't have to give me the artwork directly or something, because I felt that sometimes people are a bit shy to do that. So they can go anytime, when no one else is around, and drop it in there.
Mm.
And so then I go to the art receiver and I open it up and have a look and I see if there's anything new. And nothing gives me greater joy than seeing an artwork submitted by an artist I had never heard of before.
Mm. That's lovely. That's super. Now, you also have projects, don't you, as at the UWA? Can you tell me something about those?
We've just completed something called called the Freedom Project.
Mm.
And that was an art and film event, not a competition, um, for artists and filmmakers who have a disability or who are chronically ill. And with that event, we asked artists and filmmakers to provide a submission to the theme of freedom, to kind of show how Second Life has given them a sense of freedom which real life has in a sense partly taken away, and also to invite them to provide their personal story as to how Second Life has given them their freedom. And it had turned out to be one of the most important things that we've ever had, at UWA. And at the moment we are almost finished with putting a book together,
Mm-hmm.
which brings all the artworks together and all the stories that people have submitted together.
Mm.
And we're about a month away from actually having printed copies available, and we will be posting these copies to all the artists wherever they are in the world. So a copy of this book will be going to them.
Fantastic.
That's the Freedom Project.
Will you?
We've just also, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to ask. Will you be selling these books?
Yeah, I mean, like, we will make the books available for purchase at cost price
Mm.
for those who are interested. What the cost is, we don't know yet. So, either we would, yeah. So, I mean, like, they will be available. Yes.
Hmm. It would be lovely. I mean, maybe you could look at something like selling on Amazon um, as print on demand or something, because that would be
Uh,
super.
yeah, that's true. And we will also have a full online version available as well. So, people who want to have a look at it first, you can. And then if you want to to own a copy, you can hold on to, you can as well. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, like, I'm really looking forward to that coming out. We also have Project Homeless, which is a machinima challenge. Almost at the end cycle. We're in the judging phase now. This is a real life film competition run in conjunction with a company called Screen My Shorts, which is based in the eastern states of Australia. So,
Hmm.
on the opposite side of the continent as I am. And there are a number of prizes which are machinima only. So, only for the machinima submissions. And the machinima are also in the running for the overall prizes.
Hmm.
And I have a feeling that machinima is going to break through and pick up some of the prizes, in competition with the conventional film. And this is all about raising awareness about homelessness. And we have some wonderful entries. There's a beautiful entry by Secret Rage. Secret, I'd be happy if you shared a link, to your
Mm.
film with everyone here on chat. Please go ahead, Secret. She has a really wonderful film on homelessness, and you should watch this. And they are, yes, the homeless one. And we have submissions by Vilvi Ray. We have submissions by Raisan Fall, by Tutsi Navaratna. Tutsi and Vilvi are past Machinima UWA
Mm.
champions.
Tootsie's
So I'm
is,
really
you
excited
can
about that.
actually, Tootsie has actually got an exhibit here with Harper Beresford, which is showing his video. It's on this sim, in fact, fascinate. If you explore a little, you'll find it, or you can help yourself to a copy of the guide here that's just to my right here on the pillar. If you take that the guide, you'll be able to find the place exactly. But you can actually see Tootsie's film here on the birthday. But Secret, yes, please put it in chat. The address of yours. So the homeless project is kind of the up and coming one. Have you planned for more later in the year?
Um, Project Homeless is actually almost finished, and that one is in the judging phase, as I said. And this isn't one of the main UWA challenges. So, like, this one is one where we kind of assist with.
Mm.
It's not the main UWA ones. They will be Machinima 7, as I said, the next cycle of the major UWA challenges. And that should start in a month or two with the theme of transcending boundaries. So, if anyone's listening, and if anyone's a machinima maker, um, do think about the theme transcending boundaries, and you can, how you interpret transcending boundaries will be completely up to you. And
Right.
the reason we chose that theme of transcending boundaries is that right now in the Lawrence Wilson Art Gallery at the University of Western Australia, there is an art event with that exact theme. So we're kind of continuing on from real life into second life with an art event that's happening at the university.
That sounds fascinating. And If someone wanted to go to the University of Western Australia here in Second Life and start exploring the art, how should they start? Where should they start?
Well, they can just go to the University of Western Australia SIM. Now, I'm in an unfamiliar viewer, so I'm going to have difficulty calling up my inventory and things like that. But
Okay.
Secret Rage, if you can hear me, and if you can kind of just give the LM, the main LM for UWA as well as the art gallery, that would be awesome. Uh, oh, okay, sorry. I have it. The UWA blog, so it's www.uwains.blogspot.com, which I'm going to type in the chat. So go to the main UWA blog site, and at the top left there is an about, or about Second Life at UWA,
Mm.
and that page will give you all the links to teleport directly to the main sim, to the art gallery, and things like that, and also gives a bit of a description as to how as to how UWA in Second Life came to be. And lovely to see Save Me Orphan just pop into my screen. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I didn't have my chat button on when I was saying all that. I said a whole bunch of things with that not on. So I have the UWA in Second Life blog site up. So you click on the blog site, and then click on the button the top left. There's an About Second Life or something at UWA, and it'll take you to a number of links and things like that, and LMs to go to the campus. So please do have a look at that blog. It has news on a number of things which happened recently, including we've started using Second Life for teaching law at UWA, and there's an interesting machinima there created by Lorena Hawkes.
That sounds fascinating. We went over with Designing Worlds not so very long ago, and I must say, I very much enjoyed our visit. It was great to see so much art, so much of the art on display there.
Thanks so much.
Can you tell me a little about your involvement with the LEA? How does that work?
Well, the LEA, and hi, Save Me, how are you? The LEA is, most people are aware of what the LEA do. They're about 30 sims in all for the LEA, and approximately 20 of them are provided, to artists, to apply for sims on a 5 to 6 month basis. So I sit on the committee, and then I help with their policies, and help in a sense select the grant recipients and things, basically stuff like that.
Fantastic. So what has been your, I think you've also taken this out into wider worlds with some success by taking part in competitions yourself.
Well, yeah, I did. I took part in a 3-minute thesis competition because I've actually started a PhD, because of Second Life. So I'm a PhD student now, and my topic, the topic of my PhD, is community development, through virtual worlds. So looking at the development of communities of artists and communities of filmmakers, and my research proposal has just gotten accepted 2 months ago, and so I'm at the moment constructing a survey tool, which I hope many of you will, will respond to once it's released, and that's really exciting. And actually, looking at how communities have developed, within virtual worlds is fascinating. Like how it has helped people who are isolated geographically,
Mm.
sometimes people who are isolated socially, and some people who are isolated because of physical disability and illness. And so it'll be investigating the art community, the machinima community, and the disabled and chronically ill community as well, which I'm really excited about.
That
The
does
other
sound
thing is that Second
that
Life has also given me the opportunity to travel, and I've managed to go to South Korea, Barcelona in Spain, Sydney, Malaysia, all because people have invited me in RL to give talks about SL. So it has broadened my horizons in more ways than one.
that's fantastic. So, what is the plan for UWA? Are you going to carry on there, keeping it in Second Life? Is it looking like a very strong future for UWA?
Well, at the moment, UW will try to be within the virtual world that has the most educational institutions. So at the moment, um, there's a group called the Australian Virtual Worlds Working Group, which is in Second Life, and it's made up of about 50 or 60 Australia and New Zealand tertiary institutions, all of who use Second Life in one way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us publish joint journal papers every single year since 2010 about what our universities do in the virtual world. And as long as there's a strong educational component within Second Life, we will stay. With the new release that's coming, we've all heard that there's going to be a new kind of virtual world by Linden Lab. Of course, I'll go have a look and check it out. But until and unless there's another viable virtual world where there are lots of educational institutions in there, you know, yeah, I mean, like we will stay here. And as Save Me says in chat, the first thing we will do with the new virtual world is we will put our Winthrop Bell clock tower there.
Yes. Well, that will certainly be the familiar landmark to have out there. JJ, thank you. I'm going to take a few questions from the audience now. If anyone would like to ask JJ a question. I'm being asked some questions frantically in Skype here. Tara wants to know what pieces that you've had that you've found memorable.
Sorry, what piece, what artworks you mean?
Yeah. That you've had.
Well,
Are there any
there's so
that
many.
stand out particularly in your mind?
Well, the ones that stand out normally are the first ones you see, which are the, which are which kind of stay with you most, and the ones which have allowed you to realize that, oh my God, this is immersive. You are able to be, personally impacted by these artworks.
Mm.
So there are so many amazing examples, that have come out in recent art challenges. Among them, there are a few by Cristali Rabeni who's here sitting down in the audience where you look inside yourself and your past and your future. Um, but one that I always remember is an artwork called the last. It's 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 called the last sunset, I think, and it was created by Nish Mip,
Mm.
and it's still at UWA, um, and we have an area for for past grand finale art
Mm.
winners, and it's still there. You can go have a look at it, and it's this space where you go inside, and the sun is dying in this world, and you see people all going towards the last bits of ocean that's left as this sun, and this whole world is dying, and you hear the wind blowing around you, and you hear and she explains that now you hear the last whispers of this world as the sun is dying and it's going away. So yeah, I mean, like that artwork stays with me. The artwork by Nishmip from the very first challenge.
And that's still out on display. You can still go and see it at the UWA.
Yes, you can. I mean, it won second place in fact, in that challenge. And I don't know how, but like Nishmib won first and second prize in that competition. The first prize was a piece called Umbrellas,
I remember
which is
that.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, which is sort
But
of a,
right.
yeah, sort of like a Paris street scene with lots of umbrellas on.
That's right. Actually, New York, I think it was.
New York.
And it's still there. So both those artworks are there.
I'm glad you keep some of the old winners out there, because there are some, it's nice to see partly how the techniques of Second Life art has changed over the years, and also what won in each year. Still, so often in Second Life, all art is very transient. And tends to
Well, I mean, like,
go away.
well, I mean, like, it is as transient as artwork in real life, how, I mean, like, with an artwork in real life, how can you actually see, like an artwork in a gallery, how many people can see that artwork and for how long? You see it for a month in a gallery and then it's gone, and one person could buy it and have it at their home. So I don't think it is any different from artwork in real life, artwork in Second Life. A lot more people can see it for when it's on display. And there's a greater ability for global audience to see artworks here. How do we appreciate artwork in real life? We see it sometimes in photographs, or on featured on TV programs and things like that. We very rarely are able to see the real artwork itself, unless we are able to travel around the world to go to the gallery to see it.
Well, I would like to say thank you to Jayjay Zifanwe for joining me today, and the audience for coming. And it's been very interesting to talk to Jayjay again. And thank you. I'm going to